Hey, hi, and welcome to A Taste of Fusion. Today, I'm creating what's known as the fusion bridge of flavors. Therefore, I'm going to have an ingredient which carries its way through my appetizer, my main course, and my dessert. So, what am I making? For my appetizer, I'm creating a warm hunter beef salad in which I'm using lots of different vegetables. I'm creating it in two tiers, that means raw vegetables and cooked ones coming together with a medley of fantastic flavors. For my main course, I'm taking baked chicken with mushrooms and I'm creating a new spin on it completely. And for dessert, something that's light, very refreshing, and yet delicious at the same time, poached apples in a strawberry syrup. But now, enough of me chit-chatting about it. I've got to go pick up my veg, get back to the kitchen, and get fusing. Okay, we are ready to get started, and I'm starting off with dessert today, which are glorious poached apples. Now I'm using green apples which I've cored the center through, so they're very easy to cook. But one thing, I'm keeping the peels intact. Now why I'm doing that is because I want the peels to provide a protective covering for the apples, so to speak, and let all the juices permeate through so it's almost like a caramelized skin. But now to get started, I've got a pan over here in which I've got a liter of water and I've just got that boiling. So pop the lid over there. I'm going to pour in about 4.5 tablespoons of sugar. Now this makes a basic light sugar syrup which is great for poaching any type of fruit. And next, it's super simple. Just drop your cored apples in. Now, what am I going to add to this? Now in this poaching syrup, because these apples are quite tart, I'm going to pop in 2-3 cloves and about 1 black peppercorn. And that's only to add to the pepperiness of this poaching syrup. Next, a little fusion. I'm going to add in the juice of some strawberries in syrup. Now this is from a can again. So about 4 tablespoons of the sugar syrup from the strawberries. And I'm going to add in 2 strawberries just like that. Next, I'm going to add in the juice of a 1/4 lime. And now all I have to do for the time being is cover my pot and let the water reduce down by at least 3/4 so I have a very sort of almost thick jus at the end. This takes about 25 minutes. About halfway through, make sure you check on your apples and see how the syrup's doing. Fantastic. And it's lovely, they're still intact, the skins aren't breaking. I'm just going to turn them around to make sure they're getting evenly soaked. Now at this point, we're going to add in about 4 more tablespoons of the strawberry syrup to add to the sweetness and of course change the flavor completely. Now reserve some strawberries for the apples when I serve them. Back on with the lid, turn your heat up so the water evaporates quickly, and another 12.5 minutes of a wait. Right, so it's been about 25 minutes. I'm just going to take the lid off. Look at that. Doesn't that look fantastic? Just going to turn my apples very gently now because as you can see, the peel is becoming separate from the pulp, and that means the apples have cooked all the way through, and I don't want to damage them too much. So I'm just going to turn them ever so gently. That's about it. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid back on, turn the heat off, and let the apples steep in this really, really hot liquid so it permeates right through the pulp from the inside out towards the peel. And that's it. We're done with dessert. Now all you have to do at the time of serving is on your plate, perhaps serve a little, cottage cheese with it or cream cheese as I'm going to do. So that's it. We're done with dessert. Now it's time for the main course. Okay, now for our main course, which is a chicken bake. What's really exciting about a chicken bake, you might ask? Well, if you do it fusion style, lots of things. Today I'm taking inspiration from a lot of Italian flavors. Some basil, using vegetables like mushrooms and combining them all together and creating a really interesting fusion bake. So, first things first, I have some lovely chicken breasts here, which I'm very simply going to pop into a bowl. So about 4 chicken breast fillets. Next, I'm going to spice them. Now, I'm going to use a number of different spices. I am going to use subcontinental spices. Why? Because I want to create a bridge of fusion. 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, and that goes. 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander seeds, and 1/2 teaspoon of coriander powder. Next, I'm going to add in some olive oil, just about 1.5 tablespoons, and about 1.5 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Why? Because I want that flavor to come through, and I want my chicken to have a glorious, this dark coating of caramelization while it's baking. So, mix it all up. Once that's done, pop it to the side. Next, in my roasting pan, I'm going to put together a bunch of different vegetables. So, what's going to go in? How about some color, some carrot at the base? Pop in about 1.5 sliced carrot. Then about 1/2 punnet of mushrooms, which I've sliced up. Again, I'm just going to sprinkle them. And I've kept a few mushrooms whole. Why? Because I think they always look nice on the plate as lovely little jewel pieces. So put them around. Next, some pungency. So, change of aroma, some onion, and I'm just going to keep these around the side because I don't want them to overpower the carrots so much. I want them to be vegetables on their own. Sliced just very little. And now I'm going to spice these up. A nice pinch of salt, a nice pinch of red chili flakes. Then I'm going to pour in about 4 tablespoons of strawberry syrup, thus creating that bridge of flavor from my dessert to my main course. There we go. And I'm just going to pop in a couple of strawberries, but not too many, simply to lend their sweetness. And of course, because it's far more natural, it'll keep the dish a lot more light and healthy at the same time. Next, we pop in the chicken breast. Right on top, in the center, like so. Make sure we get all those juices and keep them on top of the chicken. Let's not try and mix too much because I want some of the chicken juices to go down and some of those juices to permeate through the base of the chicken up. So it creates a wonderful, wonderful medley of flavors, basically. Okay, finally, I've got some lovely artichokes here. I'm just going to pop some around the side, so about 4 or 5, so they don't lose their shape and texture. And then I'm going to take a couple and rip them up and layer them on top of the chicken like so. So that, they'll sort of caramelize down and create a coating almost. And next, in Italian food, usually chicken is covered with another meat or different meats are cooked together to create a wonderful array of flavors. Today, I'm going to use hunter beef. Why? Because it's very easy to get, it's very lean, and of course, it's going to add a great smokiness to this chicken, which is going to be utterly unique. So, some lovely hunter beef, which I'm just going to layer on top of each chicken so it lends its smoky flavor. And of course, it'll be almost like a coating. Right, and finally, just a couple of leaves of basil. Just rip them, chuck them in. Of course, when you're done, when you're about to serve, I will use some more fresh basil to liven up the dish. And finally, all we have to do is get a piece of foil, cover up our chicken like so, and pop it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. Right, so that's in the oven for a good 20 minutes, and of course, when it comes out and just before serving, I'm going to lash on a little bit more olive oil and squeeze on some lime before I put it on my plate with a little bit of green vegetable on the side. Now, all that's left is to make our appetizer. Right, now for our appetizer, which is a warm hunter beef salad. Now, I'm going to create this salad in 2 parts. Basically, I'm going to merge a number of bits which are cooked with some that are uncooked. Now for that, first of all, I'm going to create a vinaigrette. And in that, I'm going to pour in some olive oil, about 4.5 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of red grape vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of balsamic, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. half a lime to give it that extra zest. Next, once the lime's added in, all we have to do is emulsify. You have to keep whisking till the olive oil and the vinegars have become one. As you can see, the olive oil has started coming together with the vinegar. Right, so once your vinaigrette's ready, what we're going to do now is, or what I'm going to do, is going to take the uncooked vegetables which I want to come together in the salad. So, one onion sliced up into my vinaigrette. And then I'm just going to pop this to the side. And then I'm going to add in a lovely green chili, which I'm going to slice up finely. And why am I going to add it into the vinaigrette is basically I want the green chili to lose, its hotness, which is the same thing as what's happening to the onions. They're losing their pungency due to the vinegar and the lime in there, the sugars, the salts, and the olive oil. The same thing will happen to the chili. So slice up one chili really fine. Just slice through, make them slightly smaller. So you got a lovely little chop. Next, pop that into your vinaigrette as well. Now, just going to mix all these things up. Make sure, the onions and the chili are well coated. And just as a topper, I'm going to add half a tablespoon of that strawberry syrup. Again, as I talked about the bridge of flavor, I've taken strawberries from my dessert to my main course and now into my appetizer. But I'm not done yet. So, mix this in. Make sure all the onions are well steeped. And then, from on top, I've got some lovely mint leaves here. I'm just going to tear them up with my hand and just pop them in. And let them steep and release their flavor as well. Our onions are ready. Our vinaigrette is ready. All I'm going to do now is take the tomatoes that I'm going to use in the salad. 3 tablespoons of chopped tomatoes. And just layer them on top of the vinaigrette like so. And that's it. Step 1 is done. So I'm just going to pop these to the side and now prepare the plate of the vegetables and the spices that I want to cook. And that's it. Now I've got to fry this up and we're ready to set up our salad. Okay, now to get started, get your pan on a high flame. And very quickly, because this is super fast, so you want to blitz through this, I'm just going to pour in about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to let that heat up. And I'm going to throw in my ginger, 2 tablespoons of ginger. Start frying it up. And to it, just a squeeze of lime. And then you've got to fry it up until the ginger becomes completely translucent. Now, as it's frying, I'm going to add in about half a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, just to coat it. Give it a nice little shake. Take it off the flame so the balsamic coats it rather than just evaporates. Next, I'm going to add in just a pinch of sugar. Again, not too much. Okay. Now, once the ginger is done, turn the heat down slightly. Keep cooking it so you don't burn it. Next, a nice large pinch of salt, a large pinch of red chili flakes, and pop in all the mushrooms. Squeeze in the lime. And stir very, very quickly. Keep moving things around because you don't want the spices to stick. Next, take your hunter beef and just chuck it in. Make sure that you sort of muscle it with your hand so it breaks down from any larger chunks that might be. So, and now keep stirring. Let everything sort of fuse together, come together in an evolutionary form. Let the hunter beef take in the juices, release its salts, and merge with the ginger and the mushrooms. Just add in the rest of your half lime and a final dash of balsamic vinegar. Bring it again to the center. And at this point, just break in the basil. Of course, you will add some fresh basil later on, so don't worry about that, you know, wilting or becoming dry. Mix it in. Squeeze in any lime you have left. Just crumble in a little bit of the cream cheese. Turn the flame off, merge it in, because the cream cheese will melt and add its own oils to this entire mix. And of course, provide a lovely little coating. It already looks fantastic. Just break it down, make sure it's merged well. Bring it to the center. And now, all you have to do is plate all of this together with some cucumber and lettuce, and that's it. And, well, I'm just going to show you that because it's time to plate up. Right, we are ready to eat, and I'm joined by the super sexy, dashing and debonair Tafu Javeri.
My God.
Hello Tafu, and thank you so much.
I'm embarrassed, and now my head is going to be as large as these apples.
Well, you are super sexy, dashing and utterly debonair. Chuckian indeed.
Find out how it is. But let's see.
It's simple and easy to do.
And divine. There you are.
The man said it all. I mean, what do you think with the flavors, the ginger?
Oh, I can't complain. It's got my favorite things in there. Okay. We have a salad.
Yep.
I love salad, and I love meat, and everything else. Who cares?
Well, you see, I knew that.
Yeah.
The secret to my success is that I know you quite well.
Lovely.
But now, before we walk into that decadent part of
Okay.
life, let's move this away.
She gives food and then she takes it away.
Well,
You're like the hand with feed, but doesn't feed enough.
I'm quite cruel, I have to say, but I will pack you a doggy bag for
Okay.
sure.
All right, great.
But before everything becomes too
Now
cold,
this looks very complicated. Let's take a pick at this.
hopefully it'll be warm.
Interesting.